Okay, this is all right. This is going to be a video on recursion, and one important part about this video is it actually sets you up to be able to understand the binary tree portion of the curriculum. And it's really important that you understand recursion in two ways, and that is the winding of the stack and unwinding the stack. Essentially, whenever you call a function, the function goes on the stack, and when it's done running, the function goes off the stack. And the stack is just a memory, a bit of memory that you put things on and off, just like a, if you go to a buffet and you've got the stack of plates, the first plate in is the last plate out. So the stack behavior itself is what allows how this works to happen, the first in, last out behavior. And it's also important that you can do things when you wind the stack, but not only that, but when you unwind the stack. So for your printStar example is, you will print stars when you wind the stack, print the first stars, new line, print the next 2 stars, new line, print the next 3 stars, new line. Each one of those is a function call that winds the stack. But then each of those function calls has to come out and unwind off of the stack. So essentially, with recursion, you're going to have a function that it recursively calls itself, winds the stack, but also comes out of that wind. And you can do things on both sides of that winding and that unwinding behavior. So I'm going to give you an example of that. And this is actually the solution to the printStars assignment. I'll kind of allude a little bit into that, but I'm not going to actually solve it for you. But I'm going to give you an idea how you actually get it done. What you're going to do is have your recursive function void printStars, and basically you're going to probably have to pass it 2 things here, maybe just 1, but the line number you definitely have to pass it. So essentially, when the line number gets to the value, it's basically int total lines. So you're going to actually pass it 2 things, the line number you're currently on and the total lines that you need to print. So what you're going to have is inside is you're going to say if line equals does not equal total lines. So with recursion, the deal here is you have to have some time when you stop recursion, because if you didn't, you would never end. So basically, this is going to be recurse, or call the function again, and do an iteration of the line number, and then the total lines will always be the same. So then your else, you would just basically do nothing. Else would be, else you would do nothing and you would come out of the recursion. You have the 2 parts. You have when you're winding. So when the lines is not equal to the total lines. So let's say that we are on line number 1 and the total lines that we want is 4 lines. So this is going to be value 1 to begin with, or 0 probably, because we're going to have a fence post. And as soon as it gets up to 4, that means it'll be 5 lines. So you're going to have a little bit of some fence post issues to deal with here, or off by 1 errors. But the big idea here is how the winding and the unwinding behaves and how you can make use of that. And this is you really need to understand this for getting to the binary tree portion of the curriculum. So what I'm going to do here is, when we are able to recursively call, we're going to call the printStars again. And then what we're going to do is I'm not going to print the stars. I'm just going to do a simple cout here. Cout line number, and then we'll do line here. Line. And then we'll do this one. This is where we're winding the stack. And when I get into the debugger, you're going to start kind of understanding what I'm doing here. So we will Every time we recurse, we're going to print the line number. The line number is going to increase. I may have to change this a little bit. So we'll see the prefix and the postfix increment operators may have an issue. So we got our printStars. Let's see, what do we have in here? Semicolon, of course. Now, on this else portion, this is when we're unwinding the stack. So what you're going to have is you're going to have two places, one where you actually are winding the stack and when you're actually unwinding the stack. And I might have a little problem here remembering this as we go, so there's going to be some issues where I might have to pause it and fix some things and reiterate a few things just to kind of get along. It's been about a year since I've done this. So essentially we've got our printStars. This is where we're winding the stack. When we're unwinding, we're going to also printStars. So here we're going to, this is where you would actually see out, the asterisk. So this is kind of your asterisk. So see out your asterisk. So you'll do that in a for loop. Don't use a while, use a for. And then you're going to print the stars. And then here is where you're unwinding. Okay. So we're going to look at the behavior of this. And I'm going to say unwinding the stack. Okay. So this is kind of the behavior of it. You've got to really get clear in your head, especially for the binary tree stuff. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do printStars, and let's see if I did this right. I might have to make some changes. So we're going to go with the 0 line. No, we'll go with 1, and then we'll go to 4. Okay. So I'm going to do a step into here, and you're going to see the behavior. And the winding, as you're winding the stack, the thing is when you're winding the stack, the code does not get to here yet. It's only when you're done winding the stack that this will actually be done on each call. So essentially, you got to watch real careful here on how this behaves. Okay, so we're going to run it. All right, now here we are. We're winding the stack. Okay, so this is going to be the first call, and this is going to be our first wind. So we output line 1, winding the stack. Line number 1, winding the stack. Okay, so now we recurse again. Did I do a step into? Oh, I messed up. I'm going to have to stop it again. We'll just start again. Okay, so step into. Okay, here is our first wind. Line number 1 has printed. Here we go. Now here's our next wind. Now notice this line hasn't even gotten to yet. This has not been done. Oh, I should not have the else in there. Excuse me. Okay, there we go. That's appropriate. Okay, so now let's go ahead and restart that. All right, we're good. Okay, step into. All right, here's going to be our first printStars, line 1, line number 1. And here's our first recursion. Note, this line has not been gotten to yet. So we're immediately starting another recursion of printStars. So the first call to the printStars is on the stack. Okay, so I'm going to do a step into. Notice we now ran printStars again. So we've wound the stack one more time. And remember that this line will not be going to until we come out of this control structure and start unwinding the stack. Okay, so we wind again. Here's the next wind. Okay, now printStars is run again. We are line 1, winding the stack, line 2, winding the stack. Okay, and we're going to continue. Line is now 3. Okay, we output the line number 3, and we recurse again. So remember, this line has not been gotten to yet. This is the key right here. Okay, now watch this. This is now where we get line number 4 does not equal to 4. So these are the same. So we're no longer going to recurse. So we've wound the stack 1, 2, 3 times. Now we're on the first wind. And each time we've called this function itself, we have not gotten to line 11. This is the big idea here. All right, so now we're going to go and we're going to find that the line does not equal to total lines. So that means that we're no longer going to recurse. We're not winding the stack anymore. Now we're unwinding the stack. So we're still in the third call of the printStars, actually technically fourth, because this is the first one right down here. So now we're going to come out of the recursion, and that's where we're unwinding the stack. And just like when you're winding the stack, when you're unwinding, you can do things. So line is equal to 4 here. Now we're unwinding the stack. See, we're coming out of the previous call of, or actually the third call or fourth call of the recursive function printStars, and now when we're unwinding, now this line can now be done. Okay, so now we're unwinding the stack. Okay, line is 4. Okay, so we're coming out of the fourth call, and we're coming back to the third call of printStars. We're unwinding the stack back to the third call. Okay, so it comes back, and when the third call was done, it was here. And so it started here. So now we're going to unwind the stack. So you see how it's now every unwind comes out here, and then it goes and runs this. So essentially we wind the stack and then we unwind the stack. And each time we come out of the unwind, and we're actually right here from the previous call with the printStars, and then it progresses down to here to print this out. So let's do this really simple. Let's do this with a 1 and a 2 so you can see a little bit easier. And yeah, 1 and a 2 should work. We should have, okay, so step into. Okay, this is first call of printStars. Step into, we've wound the stack. Now we have line is equal to 2, so we unwind the stack. So that wasn't very good. Let's make that 1 and 3 so you can see it a little bit better. Okay. Step into, wind the stack, run printStars. printStars is just run all over again. And we go into the next call of printStars. So we've wound the stack again. So now there's 3 calls to printStars on the stack. The call first here, and then when line was 1, that call, and then when line was 2, that call. So now line is going to be 3, and we're going to start coming out. So for this call, we output the line 1, but look at what happens, because this is where we unwind. We're done running the third call, and this function comes out, and then it goes back to here. It goes back to this position. When you're unwinding the stack, it goes back to the last call of that function. So watch where this when we do a step over, this guy will move up to here, because we're actually coming back. We're unwinding the stack back to the previous call of printStars. And it's a really hard concept to get. So watch what happens. We're now unwinding. Step over. Okay, this function gets done running. This function, this current function, the third call of printStars, comes off the stack, and it goes back to the second call of printStars. So now we're unwinding the stack. The printStars right here where we wound the stack and did printStars and then ran it here, this one came out. So now we're coming back to this call. We're coming back to the line 2 winding of the stack. If you see line will be 2 at this point, I think. I'm pretty sure it should. We may have to change that so it behaves a little bit differently. That might be something that we just change a little bit to make it behave appropriately. No, it's not global variable, so it should come out as 3 and then 2 and then 1. So now we're back to this call, and we're going to finish this call's run. So it's going to go all the way down to the end, and it's going to unwind back to this call. Okay. So here we go. We're finishing the second call. We have unwound that. This one is done running. So this guy just got done running. We're unwinding again. Come back, and we just unwound to the first one. Oh, there's that one. It goes back to 2 like it should. So there's a few little fence posts here that you'll have to deal with in your logic when you finish the program. But the basic behavior is you do steps. You print the first part of the diamond here. You print the last part of the diamond here. Okay, so then we unwind back to the initial call, which is where line is 2, and this is where you'll have a fence post. Okay, and then we come back to the last call of printStars. So essentially the winding of the stack and the unwinding, when this is done recursing, you're coming back to the previous call where your runtime is now here. So you can see how that behaves. You wind the stack until you're done, then you'll unwind the stack. Now there's some fence posts that should have actually gone to 1. So I think this ++ line is not a very good thing. I think we need to change that and make it where line equals line +1. Got some other fence post issues that probably have to deal with. That might change some of the behavior. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 3, 2. So it looks like you're going to have to deal with a fence post in here somewhere with some of your logic. But this is how you kind of do the printStars program. So you'll put a for loop in here to print stars for the line. You'll put a for loop in here to print stars for the line. And then you'll fix the little fence posts that are happening, such as this little fence post where we got 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Oh, hey, I did fix it. Okay, that works good. Yeah, all right. So right here where you got this 3 unwinding, you might want to detect or do something here so it'll only prints 1 line. There's something that you can do with the logic to fix that. No, I didn't fix it. There's some more fence posts. But you guys get the idea. It's very important that you understand the winding of the stack and the unwinding of the stack, and how this only happens when you're done coming out of all the printStars recursive calls as they're coming off the stack back to main. Okay, so now we run this one. Okay, so you see here we got winding, 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 unwinding, unwinding, unwinding. And I think I've hit the big idea for you. So take this when you're doing your printStars function. I've actually, before we stop, I've actually had students break this down to about 15 lines of code. That's all you need is about 15 lines of code.